I keep trying to go to some other things that have happened in the world.
You got a big list
that are
over
just
there.
as significant. I saw a picture of Tyrese in a dress.
Yeah, was it a dress?
Well, you can call it what you want.
Yeah,
It was a
You can call it
unflattering. At the
You
man.
can call it kilt. This in America is a dress.
Right.
Huh? What was it? A Muslim? Do you wear those? Bullhead?
He had one on yesterday in here.
Bullhead says it was a Muslim
It's
outfit.
a throbe.
Throbe. Do you wear them?
Many times.
He had
I've
one
never
on
seen you
yesterday.
in one in here.
He wore one on stage last night in here.
Did you?
On Monday night.
Was it Monday night? Monday
Yeah.
night.
You wore one of those?
I did.
And that's different from a dress?
It's not a dress.
It's a skirt.
I had some clothes on under it.
You had some pants on?
You know,
there?
if you had a dress on, you just have on a dress.
Yeah, no drawers.
He had on panties and everything. He
I had on panties. I had on clothes. I had everything.
He
on.
said it too. He said I had on panties.
I mean,
He
panties
said
are just
it.
underwear.
No, this is good. This is
underwear.
exactly what I'm talking about. We bring on opposing opinions. So, because me, in my ignorant world, it just looked like him in a red dress.
Mine too. My world is pretty ignorant too.
But you're saying,
It's a jabaya.
is he Muslim? Is Tyrese Muslim?
They said it's a jabaya, not a throne.
I mean, if he's Muslim, I mean, he might be practicing on his own.
Now, if a non-Muslim person, man, wears a, what do you call it?
Throbe.
A throbe. How do you feel about that as a Muslim?
I mean, it's a choice.
How do you feel about a normal man wearing a dress?
A dress is different.
I know.
Right.
I asked you.
No, I ain't wearing no dress.
Okay, but you'll wear a throne.
Yeah.
Because
It
that's
look like a dress to me.
different from a dress in that they wore those back in biblical times. Is that correct? Years ago, you know. Well,
Yeah.
I know the Dalai Lama still wear them, right?
Look, all over the world, they still wear throbes.
Throbes, yeah.
Catholic people wear throbes.
Yeah.
Muslim people wear throws.
Even in Baptist church, when sometimes preacher
Jewish
get up, he
people
got
wear
on a robe.
throws.
He got on a robe.
I was
so
gonna
you're
say,
right.
don't-
The thing
that's
is,
no dress.
if you put on a body shaper,
That ain't no dress. A robe ain't no dress. I mean, you know, you enlightening me, man.
Right. No,
but if you put on a body shaper underneath, it's a dress though. Or if you put a slip on with it.
well, I mean,
Then it's
if
a
that's
dress.
all you got. Look.
You ever heard it called a jabaya?
Body
Girdle.
shaper, one of them girdles or something.
Somebody
Yeah.
call it jalabaya.
A girdle or
Yeah.
you're talking about the belt, the shape belt.
No, it's a word for it. They black and they
Spanks.
Spanks.
That's what you talking about.
Then it's a dress.
Nah, I ain't never heard
No,
of
they're
that
called
before.
nut huggers.
Now, okay, since you here, you Muslim. How do you determine when you will wear the thong, throbe, whatever the hell you call it? How do you determine when you will wear that and when you will not? You never, you know, you've been coming here 2 or 3 years. I've never seen you in one. Are you dressed up when you wear that, or is it some kind of religious
Spiritual.
holiday, or does it have some kind of significance? You just wear it at will. They say you went up on stage in one the other day.
I
Was
did.
that supposed to be a joke?
It wasn't a joke, but people took it as a joke. And matter of fact, it's kind of funny because they said that they thought I was a
Monk?
no.
Gay Muslim.
No, they ain't say no gay.
Transgender.
There ain't no such thing, no gay Muslim.
Transgender.
No, actually, they said some of them thought I was a Shriner.
Oh,
Right.
so they had the hat on too. He had
Right,
the
because
shrine
I had on the fez, but I also had on the white throat.
Now, if I may,
So you
If
a
I may.
shrinelism.
and you tell me if I'm out of line now, why did you wear that night?
Shock and awe,
You wanted to shock the people.
and it didn't fucking work either.
No, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
I'm trying to understand,
Boy,
like,
it
if you're
didn't
up
work.
there
It didn't work.
to
It didn't
get
work.
laughs,
I was around a bunch of
He
niggas.
didn't have his cleavage.
Let me tell you what I admire about
He have his
Let me tell you what I
cleavage
admire about you admitting that and saying that, and the vein that young comics, not that you that young, but in the comedy game you fairly young, don't have now. You went up, you ain't losing your mind because it didn't work. You admitting you tried it, shock effect or whatever,
Right.
comedic effect, and it didn't work. But you see how the value is in that as opposed to going on social media and doing a skit. You have no reaction from the people. You don't. So you go shoot 50 videos and pick the best one. So you put it on the ad. Okay, you get 50,000 hits. But can you see how that's not as beneficial as going up and trying some shit? I mean, and mentally dealing with the people not appreciating what you did. Can you not see the difference between shooting a video and you have no immediate response? You can basically hide behind social media as opposed to going up and trying some ridiculous shit.
I think from Bullhead perspective, he probably wish he would have just did it from the privacy of his home. He like, it's way easier if I'd have thought this out at home. I'd have went through 50 takes in my throw, picked the best one.
It may have been way easier, but is that the smart?
He would have way more followers.
Can you advance though as a comic? Is that what you in the game? Is that your ultimate goal to
Well,
get as many followers as you can?
It should be
Well,
about
as a-
more of our talent. I'm not even
Let
coming.
me tell you something, man. Let me, at the risk of sounding egotistical, I don't know, 100,000 followers or something, whatever. There's a whole lot of people with millions of followers, and I'm telling you, I will put my foot in their ass.
Word.
You can say what you want.
Oh, I know it.
And I'm not trying to be egotistical. I'm not no comedy god. I'm not no goat. The nerve of you to say I'm the greatest of all time, which includes the future. I'm not even the GOAT, G-O-O-O-T, which would be the greatest of our time. It would make most sense to say you're that. But to claim you're the greatest of all time, and all time has not even happened yet,
Right.
get the fuck out of here.
DC, in the mind of a young comic, maybe he thought my material hadn't been getting the effect I want. So maybe if I do some shock and awe.
I admire the attitude that I'm going up in front of a live audience and I'm going out here and I'm gonna try this shit.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully he'll never try the shit again.
Oh no, I will do it again.
He'll
He's
do
trying
it
to
again.
he's trying to establish a
do it
brand,
again.
but that's how they
And
think.
there goes the mind of a true comic.
I mean, if he
Now,
has
don't
the
do it the
talent,
same and do it the same way. That's a fool that keeps on doing the same thing over and over and think he's gonna have different results.
insanity.
But if you may go up and make an adjustment,
Yeah, have more cleavage showing.
and try something, yeah.
So you had the hat with the tassel on
Wear
it?
some
No, he
thongs
didn't have a
instead of
tassel on it.
boxing
No,
gloves.
the tassel was on.
Yeah.
But
See, he had the tassel on
Put
it.
it on later. I didn't
but
see
let me
that.
explain something to you. What I was trying to tell the audience.
Yeah,
I was raised a Muslim
right?
and almost became a Muslim missionary.
Okay.
So between the age of 10 and 16, I was supposed to talk to people and convert them to Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I'm going to ask y'all a question I asked the audience. Have you ever had a Jehovah's Witness come and knock on your door?
But not everybody has. But go ahead. I have.
Hold on,
but-
son.
but go ahead.
I'm just asking the question.
I have.
Well, speak
Okay.
it faster.
Did you let them in the house?
Yes.
No, my daddy used to let him in. Though.
Oh, I let them in
Right,
when
yeah.
I was 15
Yeah,
and speak to them for 3 hours and try to convert them to Islam.
yeah. You must have had a whole lot of shit
And
to
they
do.
said, nigga, you gonna buy this
Look,
book
it
or
took
what?
look, it took 3 hours for them to say, "Sir, I know you're 15, I know you missionary, but it's time for us to leave."
You run him about it.
So I'm gonna just go on record and say if it didn't work on the regular crowd, we ain't gonna like that either.
That was
I'm just saying we ain't like that either.
But I'm saying,
joke
no,
was-
it's not a
that was
joke.
the
It's a
joke.
story. What I'm
Yeah.
telling you is,
punchline.
they brought reinforcements in 3 days later to knock on my door to say, "Oh, we're gonna break this brother down."
You gonna buy this book?
They didn't last 2 hours.
They ain't last 2 hours. You spend another 2 hours. That's 5 hours
Of non-productive.
in a week.
I talked to
You
them
ain't
to
had no
death.
chores, no homework. No nothing.
So I'm gonna just go on the record. It ain't had nothing to do with your throw. It had something to do with your material.
Nah, you should have stole that. I was
At
joking.
15, I was jacking off every hour.
His objective was to make them quit being Jehovah's Witnesses. He thought they were gonna walk out of the house.
Well, you thought you was in the crowd of Jehovah's Witnesses. Then you like, who over here Jehovah's Witness?
He
Now,
thought
this
they
ain't
gonna
no,
walk out the house.
this ain't no
and throw
comedy workshop.
Yeah.
This ain't no
Right,
comedy
right,
workshop.
right. Look,
But now, what made you think that would be funny to the majority of
Thank
the
you.
people
That's
to
what I
whom
feel.
you
Thank
were
you.
talking that night?
Yeah, that's what I was trying. Thank you.
I had no idea, and that's why I bombed that
Now,
joke.
you should have said when they left your house, they throw their pamphlets in the trash. That nigga right.
All I'm saying, Bullhead, you in the room with seasoned comedians. You ain't got to go out there like that. You ain't got to do that to yourself. Ask somebody.
I had a punchline.
Talk to somebody, man. You know they say check on your friends. I ain't know you was out there bad like that. I'm gonna check on you more often, man. They say check on your friends, but
I appreciate
I didn't know you was out there like that. I didn't know you was out there putting on throws.
I'm gonna say this, and God bless you. I'm telling you, man, I'm very proud of that. With you being, as far as the business is concerned, a young comedian. But if you had asked me, I would have told you, don't you come in here with that fucking dress on, man.
Ask questions.
No offense to nobody, no offense to the Muslim. I'm Baptist, but I've been like, don't you bring your motherfucking
And I
ass
wanna
in here
apologize.
with that silly looking motherfucking dress.
Dress with a tassel.
Respect Muslims to the utmost, but nigga.
With the tassel.
And I like to apologize in front of everybody. I should have stopped.
Oh, you
saw
were there, Bo?
I was here. I should have stopped.
See, you an enabler. You are an enabler. You were like, well, if you think it's gonna work, go.
No, hey,
See,
you know
Bo,
what?
you ain't right. You ain't right.
Down, punk ass son bitch.
I want to
look,
see where it
I
goes.
No,
look,
you should have pulled him.
look, I
You
walked
should
in
have
here,
pulled him in the back and
Bo P
said,
said,
"Let
"What
me
the
hear the
hell?"
joke. Let me hear where you going with it." That's what you should have did as a big brother comedian. You OG. You should have said, "Let me hear your joke."
You should pull him in the back and say, nigga, take that shit off.
Bo was trying to see could he get back in the pimping. He was like, well, he got that throb on. Maybe I can make a little money. Let's see where this go. Let's see how entertaining he really is. He an enabler. He an enabler.
Were
He
you
wrong.
part of the Islamic family that said if you kill yourself, you get 77 virgins when you get to heaven?
Seven.
No, actually, we was
It's
taught that if
70.
we kill some infidels, then we can get them 77 virgins.
You gonna get
It's
to heaven.
70,
you know,
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
If
gonna
you
get to
tap
heaven.
that ass,
70.
then you say you tapped the first version ass. Now you're down 69.
I'm gonna
Right.
tell you what's gonna happen, DC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
This ain't virgin no more, right?
You
Yeah.
gonna get to heaven and God gonna say we out of virgin, but we got a bunch of dykes over there.
We got some
Lord
hoes in
have
it.
mercy.
All of them give head the same way. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Either way, it's a crapshoot. You don't want 7. That means you gotta. I'd be like, all y'all sit together. We gonna get one lesson on this at one time. I ain't gonna explain this 40 different
I
times.
think that whole thing is just shows the mindset of you men. You
Oh.
kill yourself, you get 70. You're gonna be willing to kill yourself to go
want
and have to
virgin
get
anyway?
70 virgins.
Who want virgin anyway?
I don't want one virgin.
I mean, once you get a virgin, you only get her once.
That's
So
what
she
I'm
no
saying.
longer a
When they
damn
had a-
So
virgin.
you got 70. You got 75 to have up there in heaven.
Now, how you
Yeah.
know they virgins?
Cause you say you only get 70 virgins. Well, if God say they're virgin,
But,
they're virgin.
I mean, but
you only get 70, and then what?
I don't think God letting virgins into heaven like that.
Okay, and I don't want to. I don't
For
want.
real, He loves sinners. God takes sinners and renews them. What God want with 70 virgins? He don't prove His
and I don't-
greatness with virginity.
Oh, we gotta let our religious authority
Well,
speak now.
I'm gonna say this. I really don't understand the concept of the afterlife when we're all. They always say you wrestle against flesh and blood. So what pleasure do you get out if you're gonna be a spirit anyway on being with 7 virgins? But again, hey, not knocking it. I'm going back to the point that when you came on stage with that, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a theologist back and forth, but I would never sit on this panel with my collar or one of my robes for people to see. There's
You
a time
can if
and
you
place
would
for
like
everything.
to. Help
Yeah,
yourself.
but that does what other than showing that
Hey,
okay,
man.
I'm this.
Everybody
just-
got a right to speak their piece, and that's what this show's about. If you want to wear a collar one day, wear a collar.
I agree, but I'm not trying to give you advice from a comedian. I'm trying to give you an advice from whatever your belief is and standpoint, that wearing the throw and stuff, you're trying to make that your brand and be this guy that's out here that's telling good jokes, hopefully, wearing that, then fine, be it. But mostly that is really for what? For what you believe in the God that you serve. So that's all I'm saying. That's where I'm coming from with it. Like like I said, I'm not a comedian. I wouldn't suggest that image because it's for one thing. Just like for what I do, if I go up in the pulpit, I'm just saying that is for one thing. But when we're here, if you want to draw people in, then by all means let your talent draw in. Then once you draw them in with your talent, then you can let them what kind of faith base you come from. But that's just me, though.
Well,
So even a pastor don't want a virgin. Long story short, even a pastor say, I don't need no virgin. What are we doing?
What I'm saying is, Weightball.
I understood. I heard you. I just said what you said. You said you
what am
don't
I
need.
pursuing? Because we're all supposed to be spiritual beings. So why is my desire the flesh in the afterlife?
I feel you.
Virgin came on the radio and said, when I tell men I'm a virgin, they ghost me.
Yeah.
I don't blame
wear
him.
collar,
Yeah.
so I don't get that.
I don't
He
blame
trying
him.
he trying to find his brand.
Who?
Bullhead trying to find
Yeah.
his brand. He's
Yeah.
trying to find. He's
I
building.
applaud that.
Yeah, and me too. I don't get with that part that Brian is saying because Run
You
he
shouldn't. You're
wears
not
a
spiritual
collar.
enough.
What did you say?
You heard what I said. Continue.
No, I ain't hear you. That's why I asked you.
No,
You
just
ain't gonna
finish.
repeat it 'cause
You say
know.
Run wears a
Let
collar.
us speak a piece,
Yeah,
man.
Run
Let us speak
wears
a
a
piece.
collar, and he's a minister, and he raps. So I don't get you telling him that he
Run
should.
DMC?
Yeah, he runs his collar. So Red, and he changed the name to Red Run.
Reverend Run, Reverend
Right, Reverend Run, and he raps. So, but he raps and Run DMC, my Adidas. They ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. So, so
Hey,
I
listen to
am
scripture.
not going to tell Bullhead what he shouldn't do because of his religion. If he's trying, because he's coming out as the Muslim gumbo or the Muslim, what is it? The
Forrest
Muslim Forrest Gump, something like that.
Life
so he's
is like
trying
a
to
box
find
of
his brand.
chocolates.
He's trying to find his brand.
Yeah.
So he, like he said, this didn't work. Okay, so but he's representing his Muslim belief, and that's part of his Muslim culture.
That's
Yeah,
part of
listen-
his story.
Listen
Yeah.
to JJ. Next week,
I
you're going to get a
applaud him
different
for
color.
trying.
That's all. Your color was bad. Get you a different color.
I applaud him for trying. That's
Plus,
one of the interesting
I've
things.
had 35 virgins, on this earth, so
You've what?
I've already got halfway there.
You've what?
I've had 35 virgins.
Is that what they tell you?
I mean, that's what they said.
Ain't 35 virgins in America. at your age, boy. Don't believe that shit.
Not in no legal age.
Well, it's a few men.
What
around
I'm
here ain't been
applauding
touched.
is you going up, and trying. I'm applauding you going up and trying with your story. And then we got to go. But I'm gonna tell you, part of the quote unquote finding yourself in comedy. See, when you start telling personal stories, like you're a Muslim, blah 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 blah. People cannot steal that. I got some personal stories
As a Baptist.
you cannot hardly steal. Huh? No,
As
just
a
as
Baptist.
what I've experienced in my life.
Right.
You cannot hardly steal. Now, for example, Cat said he was homeless. Steve Harvey, he implied that Steve Harvey stole his homeless story, that Steve Harvey was never homeless. But it's very difficult for you to steal somebody else's story. Now, I don't think that's necessarily the approach that you ought to have to you a Muslim, but I think that is separate from most comics. Very few comics are Muslims, and if you want to tell your story, you just got to find a funny way of telling it, and wearing a dress or in a thong is not one of the ways.
I would say what you just said, that you like, hey, they talking about you gonna get 40 virgins. I be like, I don't gotta kill nobody. I'm gonna get 30. I'm gonna get them here. Be like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to heaven. Let me get my virgins while I'm here. That's funny, and it don't need no dress. But if you want to put the throw.
7 virgins. That's a lot more.
Okay. Well, either way, he halfway there. He halfway to paradise on earth.
Right.
But I do think you should qualify. Was they all women virgins? Because sometimes we just want to qualify because then we want to know what type of Muslim. You might be Muslim.
Yeah.
Muslim guy.
Things have changed.
That's that YSL Muslim. That's a different. He Muslim.
Time, but I'd be remiss not to mention this. Of course, the Iowa caucuses, Republican caucuses, and all that went down. But I want to know what y'all think about Nikki Haley. And there's several. Let me just lay it out there first. and then I'll ask y'all what y'all think. One thing was she had the civil rights question come up in one of the town meetings. And they asked her what was civil rights about. She never mentioned slavery. Okay. That right there is an indication about how fucked up you are. Later on, she mentioned she was asked about America being a racist country, and her response was America is not and never has been a racist country. All right. A couple days later, Donald Trump, who now sees her because she won the Iowa caucus. I mean, she finished third behind DeSantis, but she's picked to win South Carolina. So Trump, in his whistle-blowing, what they call it, dog whistle-blowing tone, referred to her real name, which is Indian. She's not a white woman.
Yep.
Right.
And which was a whistle, a dog whistle, you know. But still, she's holding that America is not a racist country. Later on, it came out yesterday that her daughter is married, or is fiance, a black man.
Right.
And she has not mentioned that in all of this past 6 months of campaigning, because she's basically going after the Trump crowd. And she knows that the Trump crowd, when they find out her daughter is marrying a black man, are going to abandon her.
About to be a victim, she be like, "Hey, it could happen to any of us. These Negroes and they coming into our families. Lord, I'm gonna have little black babies now. I'm one of y'all. I don't want no black babies. It's part of the world that we live in."
You should be her campaign manager.
I'm telling you, she could spend that to her.
With that buffoonery.
She be like, "These Negroes is gonna be part of your family if we don't fix them."
Like Trump said, they're poisoning the blood.
Hey, they are.
Listen, man, I already know because I
said there's
dated
no-
outside my race.
They're like, we're gonna have little babies that can jump high and dribble.
Right.
We want
And talking.
right. Like we want uncoordinated babies.
What you say,
Yeah,
Mo?
They don't do
There's
nothing
no
but
racism in America because Usain Bolt is the fastest person in the world. And he from Jamaica.
I mean, really.
Now I will say, in response to that, it's the part about if you can talk about the civil rights movement and not talk about slavery. That's possible, but to talk about America and not talk about racism is
you can
impossible.
talk about the civil rights movement. You talk about the Civil War and not talk about
Not the Civil War, the civil rights. You can't talk about the Civil War.
rights. That wasn't
Okay,
the question.
okay, it was about the Civil War. Okay,
Civil War.
Even though she
well, yeah.
And
Well,
she
you
said it
can't
had
talk
nothing
about
to do. She did not mention slavery in her explanation of what the Civil War was.
Which is why she.
It's not about civil
finished
rights.
third.
Even though she's Indian, but she was born in America.
She's born in America. She's still an Indian.
Still Indian, yeah.
You was born in America too, but
Yeah, I'm
you're
from Africa.
African.
From Africa.
But you can't say that America has never had racism.
You got to be a total racist to say that.
Yes.
And if you're not going by your natural Indian name, you already know it's racist.
You know it's
Why
racist.
you ain't going by your Indian
Trump
name and
knows
by your
it's
natural
racist. So
name?
when he mentioned her yesterday, he brought up her Indian name.
Even Trump ain't going by his original name, but his granddaddy.
name was Trump.
Right, he changed it. He's like, hey,
German.
Yes, but
And it amazes me that they don't go back and do the research. Trump's name is Drunk. His father changed his name from Drunk
To Trump.
to Trump.
Because he
but
was a drunk.
it's not a fact that they
Hey,
don't want to go back
Jim.
with it. It's just that people, and whether you agree with them or not, a lot of people seem to vibe when you're authentic. And whether you agree with what Trump does, Trump is an authentic liar. He's an authentic shyster.
He's a
Or whatever.
racist.
He's an authentic racist.
He's an
But the thing is-
opportunist.
Yeah,
Opportunity. Yeah,
and that's
definitely.
what, for some reason, this country,
Narcissistic.
especially Iowa, seems to vibe
And he's
with
ignorant.
authenticity. Yeah.
And even if it's true for a man who actually won and was leader of the free world to say he does not read books, period. So you want to know who I'm voting for president? Cat
Cat
Williams.
Williams.
Damn right.
I'm DC. I'm DZ Curry.
I'm Bo P.
I'm Brian Harper.
Weightball in the building.
I'm Sister JJ.
And Bullhead in the background. Assalamu alaikum, motherfuckers.
There go our show.
I got head of security Richard Torrance. I got Will Glad I'm not Smith on the ones and twos. I got Michael Eden, who happens to be the photographer for Egypt.
We love you, Egypt.
I got